It all starts with a bid sheet, and a bid sheet is a way to list your prices that you're paying for grain currently. We keep a basis at each location, and we use a parent-child relationship with freight differential to make maintaining that basis quick and easy, and we'll get a look at that today. The first step then is grower offers. Again, it's an optional step, but if a grower calls in and says, hey, I'll sell you my corn when it hits $3.50, you can track that with the grower offers system. So we have two types of grower offers, firm and notification offers. A firm offer is where you don't have to call the grower. You can just go ahead and contract for that grain when it hits his price. And a notification offer is one where the grower wants you to call them if it hits that price, and then based on that phone call, you'll decide to either execute the contract or not. And that's the next step, is to execute the contract, the purchase contract, and we'll have that in a future webinar. So the next screen, we're talking about the grain delivery. So we've agreed with the grower to buy the grain. We've built a couple pieces in here that are optional, and one is called the delivery sheet, the delivery intention, and the delivery completion. And the delivery intention is where the grower calls in and says, hey, I think I'll be delivering against that contract next week. And it just sets up the elevator and gives notification that, hey, this customer plans to deliver X quantity, an estimated quantity, and an estimated amount of time. The delivery itself, when the grower brings the grain in, goes over the scale, that's accomplished through a scale ticket. And Levridge has a scale app that we've built. It's pretty neat. And then we also integrate with other scale applications such as One-Way, CompuWay, and others. The ticket is then either applied to the delivery sheet, but if there's no delivery sheet, we can apply that ticket to a storage or a purchase contract. When the grower is all done delivering, we have a way for them to complete that delivery. So again, this is an optional step, but basically if the delivery intention is all correct, in other words, the intention, the disposition, like whether it's going on storage or onto a contract, if that was all right, we can just use it, just confirm it. Or if at this point he wants to change the splits, like who he's splitting the grain with, or if he wants to change the disposition or average grades, that's all done in the delivery completion step. Then after the grower has delivered the grain, then it's time to settle. So the settlement is actually paying the grower for the grain, and that's a three-step, or can be a three-step process. One is a settlement request, and that's where the grower or another user of the system, maybe an accountant or a merchandiser, it could be anybody who has security, just requests on the grower's behalf or for payment of the grain. We record information such as who to pay, when to pay, how much to pay, what grain we're paying for is all done as part of that request. Then the request moves on to the settlement, and the settlement is where we confirm the settlement, make sure that if there's any lien holders, any third-party payments, any advances to subtract, to make sure it's on the right contract, that the discounts and fees and everything is confirmed and okay, and then we go ahead and move it. We use Dynamics D365 for actually paying and creating the check or the EFT. So that's how we get the money to the grower. This screen is Levridge and Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. This is the main screen you come into when you log in. And we'll just take a look at, I have on my favorites, I have a bid sheet and the board price, bid sheet configuration and offers. You can navigate two ways. One is you can use the long menu navigation that goes through commodity accounting, and you can see all the different choices under commodity accounting. For the purposes of this webinar, I've went and put stars next to the offer and the bid sheet and the board bid sheet configuration so that they all show up here in my favorites. So let's take a look first at the Levridge bid sheet. We'll just look at all of them. Okay, so this is the bid sheet, and you'll notice across, we'll take a closer look. Across the top, we have the delivery periods, and then the ticker symbol that pricing is tied to across the top. And then what the board price is currently. That board price can be keyed in at the end of each day or periodically during the day, or we can get that price from a market price service such as DTN. And then for each branch location, as you can see, I have Barnesville, Alexandria, Arthur, and Crookston. We have the basis, any adjustment to that basis for the net basis, and then the cash bid for the day is, for example, 307. For Alexandria, you see we have a minus 25-cent basis for a cash bid price of 298 for May of 2020. And then we goes on and on for each location. Now, if we wanted to look at just one location, we can restrict it and just say, hey, show me the Alexandria bids. And what's neat about this is that now it's showing the Barnesville location and the Alexandria location. And the reason for that is because Alexandria bid is, the Barnesville is a parent to the Alexandria. And so we use a parent-child relationship so that changes to the basis in Barnesville automatically rolls down to the changes in the basis. It will automatically change the basis at each of its child locations, in this example, Alexandria. Let's look at how that bid sheet is configured. First of all, you set up a parent-child relationship. So we have the child branches here. And in this example, they're all set up to the same parent. We could set up multiple locations, one or more locations to its own parent or to a different parent, or they could be their own parent if you don't want to use the parent-child relationship. But this shows how each of the locations is tied to a parent. This is where we put the basis entry for the parent. Again, we have the parent branch name, the commodity, the delivery period, in this case, February of 2020, and the ticker that it's tied to, the ticker symbol, and then the basis. And notice since February delivery period is old, it is not published. So we only show the records that are checked as published. So in this example, corn for May delivery tied to the May ticker is going to be 16-cent basis. Again, that's at the parent. Okay. So then we can, for each child of that parent, we click on the child setup. We set up the child location, the branch. Well, the parent that it's tied to comes in, the commodity, and then we have a freight differential for each location. So for corn, we have a 9-cent freight differential between Barnesville and Alexandria. And then we can do miscellaneous adjustments too if we want to for each location. All of that setup results in a bid sheet that looks like this. You have the parent and the child. So that concludes the bid sheet portion of the presentation. Let's take a look at grower offers. So merchandisers and grain buyers oftentimes have conversations with growers and customers and say, hey, what are you paying for grain today? And they might say something like, oh, we're paying $3.50. And the grower goes, well, that's not enough. But call me if it gets to $3.75, because I don't want to take the time to watch the market every day. If it gets to $3.75, give me a call. So what do the growers, so at that point you got a choice. Do I write it down on a yellow sticky note? Do I put it in my phone? Do I call up a spreadsheet? How do I keep track of that so I remember to call the grower when that price gets close or hits that mark. So that's really what grower offers are all about. So we clicked on the menu choice for grower offers, and we see all the grower offers that I've put in the system from before. And let's just take a closer look at what information we see here. First of all, we see the offer type, and there's really two offers that we support. A notification, and that means call them before you execute the contract to see if they're still interested in selling at the price they said. And then we have a market offer that says, hey, don't bother to call them, just execute the contract and send them a contract if that price hits. We have the date of the offer, who did the offer, what's the commodity, what branch was they were going to deliver to, in this case, Barnesville. What delivery period, in this case, our naming convention is 2020-06, well, that's June. 2020-09 is September. 05 is May, and so forth. The net price that the offer is for, so they offered if it gets to $3.35, they want to be called based on the board price of $3.50 and a basis of -15. This is the quantity of grain, 5,000 bushels, that they're offering at that price, and when the offer expires. So if we don't get a hit on this by 5/31, the end of May, this one is going to expire and goes off the list. Let's take a look at how easy it is to create a new one. We simply click on New. We select what location the grower wants to deliver to, let's say Barnesville. The offer date, defaulted to today. What type of offer it is it a notification or a market offer? Who the customer is. Let's say it's Chesron Farms. So I started by typing a little bit and it popped up to the customer. I hit enter. Which commodity? We have a naming convention here. 5001 is corn. And then the delivery period, let's say he wants to offer it for July. And then how much? Let's say 5,000 bushels. And July will tie to the July of 2020 sticker symbol. And let's say they're going to offer to sell us at $3.95. That would be the board price, maybe a -15 basis for a net price of $3.80. And let's say that offer expires. I click the calendar symbol. The offer expires June 15th. It's good through June 15th. And it is going to be a cash contract. We offer, they could do a basis offer if they'd like, but just a cash in this example. And then the location is Barnesville is where they'll deliver. We simply hit create and we're good to go. Any details, we have a chance to change it, and everything's good. We can hit save and close. And we're brought back to the list, and notice they have that. They're added to the list. Let's take this list. Let's take a look at how we can filter the list. First of all, quickly, we could, so by delivery location, we'll just say, okay, let's look at Barnesville. And then what commodity? We can just choose the commodity. So now I'm seeing only Barnesville corn in this list. And let's say I'm only interested in seeing this delivery period for June, what I can buy immediately. Now you notice every one of these columns are sortable and filterable. So what we can do is we click on this little down arrow and we get how we want to sort it. And then we can filter on the delivery period. So I can say delivery period begins with 2020-06. Apply that filter. And now only offers for June of 06 are shown in the list. And let's say if we, and so the same thing I can do here, I can filter and I can go from smallest to largest. And now I can see the lowest price on the top and the largest price on the bottom. So it's easy to filter, slice and dice, and look at these offers any way you'd please. In addition, there's a single click. If you want to send them to Excel, we do a single click to Excel here. We open the offers in Excel, and it exports into an Excel spreadsheet, and you see all the offers are here, and you can sort, filter, and using Excel. The last step of the process is to, if an offer is hits and you'd like to turn it into a contract, you simply select the offer and hit create purchase contract. And then with a single click, all this data goes into purchase contract and is ready for the grower to sign and complete the contract. So it saves a lot of data entry because a vast majority of this information will end up on a purchase contract.